meditation. Feel free to make any adjustments. I'll be offering lots of options, and you'll get to see what really feels best and explore what feels good in your body. So we'll get started today with a mudra called our Dhyana mudra. So you'll bring your left hand flat and then right hand on top, thumbs gently meet at the top. And then maybe you flutter the eyes closed. Start to root through the sit bones, feeling where you're making contact with the earth, where the earth is supporting you. Growing tall in the spine, gaining length as the vertebrae gently separate from one another. Beginning to tap into that idea of self-study and self-inquiry by noticing how you feel in this moment. The flow of the breath. Is it deep? Is it shallow? Is it slower or faster? Are there any areas of tension in the body? Can you maybe direct the breath to these areas to work through that tension before the movement even begins? Slowly now, eyes can begin to open. You can release your mudra. We're going to make our way to a child's pose. So you can take a closed-legged child's pose with the knees closer together, or knees can come a little bit farther apart if you want to get some opening through the hips. Hips will sink back towards the heels. It's okay if they don't make contact. And fingertips will walk forward. Maybe you relax the forehead down to the mat. Maybe forearms rest on the mat for more of a passive child's pose. Maybe you tent the fingertips, pressing into each fingertip, lifting the forearms off the mat for more of an active child's pose. We'll be here for about 3 to 5 of your breaths. Just exploring sensation in the body in this pose. Taking your time, we'll gradually plant through the palms, sweeping shoulders up over the wrists, knees come about hip-width distance apart, hips over the knees, tabletop pose. Release any stale air you're holding on to, preparing to take some cat and cows. Inhale to drop the belly, shift the gaze up, lifting through the tailbone. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, rounding through the spine, pressing into the fingertips. Inhaling as the belly drops. Going at whatever pace feels good to you here. My words are just cues. Exhale, C curve in the spine. Reach the navel up and away from the mat. We'll take a few more rounds at your own pace, using the whole inhale to travel through cow. Whole exhale to journey your way through cat. Meeting in a neutral tabletop when you are ready to move on. So, neutral spine, shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. From here, you'll have 2 options as well. One is to stay in this tabletop pose. Another is to gently start making your way to your first downward facing dog if you feel ready for that. So you can tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. Maybe walk the hands out a pace. Maybe bend the knees, finding some movement, just arriving in this first down dog. Maybe one leg lifts, and then the other leg lifts. Really just exploring what feels good. Maybe it's movement, maybe it's stillness. Starting to settle into stillness for those 3 to 5 breaths. Rounding through the palms, pressing into all 10 fingertips, maybe bending the knees if the hamstrings feel tight. It's okay if heels are peeling up off the mat. It's more about creating that inverted V shape. Either from your tabletop or from your downward facing dog, take a big breath in. We'll start to look up between the palms, taking some tiny steps until you find yourself in a forward fold at the top of the mat. Feet can be about hip width distance apart or together, big toes touching. With an inhale, roll all the way up to stand, one vertebrae at a time, so that the head and neck may come last. Once you get to the top, palms shine forward, mountain pose. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 rounds of similar movements, and I'll be demonstrating some different options that you have throughout each round. You're more than welcome to take any of the options that I'm giving you and just explore what feels good in your body. So we'll get started back in that mountain pose. Inhale the arms up overhead, palms connect. Maybe gaze shifts up if that's okay for the neck. Exhale, bend at the waist, maybe bend at the knees as you fold forward. Inhale, palms to the shins, come to a flat back, lengthening, crown reaches forward. Exhale, plant the palms. We'll step our left foot back, lower down to that left knee. I'm going to take my left hand to my right knee and my right hand on top of my left hand for this variation of my little lunge. You're welcome to extend the arms up if that feels better to you. We'll hold each pose here for about 3 to 5 breaths. With your next exhale, you can start to frame the right foot. Gently tucking the left toes, rising up off the left knee. You'll step left foot alongside right and then guide your way to switch sides. Right foot steps back. Maybe you lower down to that right knee. This time I'll take an arms extended version of my low lunge on Shaniyasana. You're more than welcome to take that first variation I showed you as well. Left knee settles over the left ankle in my low lunge, reaching through the fingertips, if that's the variation you're taking. Next, exhale, hands start to frame the left foot. We'll tuck the right toes, rise up off the right knee, and step your way up for a forward fold. Now I'm going to demonstrate something called the vinyasa flow. You're more than welcome to either take a downward facing dog or a tabletop instead. For those of you who'd like to play with the flow, I'll show you that now. We'll inhale, palms to the shins for that flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back for a high plank. From there, we'll drop to the knees, staying at this nice angle. Big breath in. Exhale to bend at the elbows, keeping them close to the ribs as you lower all the way down to the belly. From there, you'll untuck the toes, press into the palms, lifting the chest, grounding into the tops of the feet, maybe coming halfway up, maybe engaging the arms a little further and rising the chest a bit more for a cobra. Exhaling your way back for downward facing or tabletop pose. Maybe even child's pose if that's what your body's craving right now. And we'll hold for those 3 to 5 breaths, exploring these postures. Trying to just notice and observe rather than judging and labeling, but knowing that if judging and labeling does occur, that's okay. Letting those judgments and labels leave as quickly as they came. If you're in child's pose, start to sweep up to tabletop. From table or downward facing, we'll inhale, start to make our way to the tops of the mat for a forward fold. Big breath in, rise all the way up, palms sweep overhead and connect, maybe gaze follows. Exhale, hinge at the waist, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, plant the palms, left foot lower down to that left knee. And this time I'll take a variation where I'm grounding through my left palm, spiraling up and extending my right arm, a little twisted variation of low lunge. Again, you do not have to take the variation I'm demonstrating, just showing you more options. Knowing that it is okay to be wobbly, that is your growth edge, embracing that. Exhale, start to frame that front foot and gently make your way to switch sides. So left foot steps up, right foot steps back. I'll lower down to my right knee. This time I'll show you yet another variation. So we'll extend our arms out in front if you'd like to take this. And then like you're stringing a bow, draw the left hand back, extend the left hand behind you for a twist. I like to have my right toes tucked here to support this a little bit. Engaging everything towards the midline for stability, no matter what variation you're in. If you're in the twist, inhale, come back through center, and wherever you are, exhale to frame that left leg. I'll step my way back up for forward fold, and then maybe you take that flow, maybe you hold stillness in table, child, or downward facing. I'll demonstrate the flow again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms, step back, high plank. Lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale and tuck the toes, press into the palms for a back bend. Squeezing the glutes to protect the lower back. Exhaling your way to downward facing or tabletop or child's pose, whatever feels good. Really taking this practice and making it your own, exploring. Last round here, start to inhale, look forward, make your way to the top of the mat, forward fold. Big breath in, rise all the way up, palms connect overhead. Maybe this time you squeeze the glutes, leading with the upper spine, take a slight back bend if that feels good. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, left foot steps back. Maybe you lower down to the left knee for low lunge. And this time I'm going to stay lifted up and off the left knee for an easy twist. Left hand stays planted, right palm comes up. Knowing that no one variation is ever better than another, this is really all about you, this practice, and what your body is asking for, what feels good to you. Exhale to frame your top foot. Switch sides last time here. Left foot steps up, right foot steps back. This time I'll demonstrate high crescent lunge. You're more than welcome to lower down to this right knee if you'd like, taking any variation. Inhale, rise up to your variation. For high crescent, knee settles over ankle, and you're engaging that back leg. Start to frame your left foot. Step up your right foot in line with your left. Maybe you take a flow. This time I'm just going to step back to tabletop and take some cat-cows instead, because that's what my body's asking for right now, so I'm going to go ahead and honor it. And then instead of holding my downward dog, I think this time I'll take my child's pose for those 3 to 5 breaths. If you're child, you'll start to make your way to table, either from table or downward facing. We're going to, actually if you're in downward facing, you're going to drop down to table now, lowering down to the knees. And then you're just gonna release hips towards one side, swing the legs out in front. We're gonna journey all the way down to the back. So you can plant soles of the feet here and extend your arms, or maybe arms come to support you as you lie down. Rolling down gently towards the back. Feet will stay bent here. Maybe you walk the feet a little bit closer towards the hips. So you have the option to stay here. If you'd like to play with a back bend, we'll take bridge pose now. So big breath in, press into the palms, send the hips high, squeeze the glutes. Engaging these together like there's a block you're holding on to that you cannot let go of. Exhale, roll down gently. Windshield wipe the legs from side to side to release that lower back, any compression that went on there. And then we'll take one more back bend. Again, you're more than welcome to stay in stillness and skip the back bend. If you'd like, you can take bridge pose again, which is what we just took. Or if you'd like, you can find full wheel. For full wheel, you plant hands outside the ears, fingertips face in towards the body. Grounding through the feet and the hands, you press up, sending the hips up and back. Again, engaging knees towards one another. And lowering down the way you came in. Gently rolling down the vertebrae one at a time. And from there, we'll take a counter pose. So hugging the knees in towards the chest. Maybe rocking side to side. From here, we'll take a waterfall pose. So extend those legs straight up towards the ceiling, flexing the feet like you're trying to stomp on the ceiling, reversing the blood flow in the legs. So you can stay here. Something I like to do is take my hands under my sacrum to support this pose. If there's anything like a shoulder stand sequence in your practice and you know what that is, you can take that. If not, we'll just hang out in waterfall, getting the benefits of letting the blood flow reverse in our legs. Staying for as long as you'd like here, but when you're ready, you'll let the legs bend, you'll hug knees in towards the chest. We'll close with a reclined twist. So you can take any variation of reclined twist that feels good. For example, you can cross at the legs. You can draw one leg over, or you can drop both knees to one side. Shifting gaze over the opposite shoulder if that's okay for the neck. And when you're ready to switch sides, big inhale through center. Exhale, knees to the opposite side. Gaze over that opposite shoulder if that's okay for the neck. I like to take my hand outside my knee to add some gentle pressure, guiding the twist. Inhale through center when you're ready. And then exhale, making your way to final resting pose, Shavasana. Knowing that there's nothing left for you to do here. Knowing that it is okay if your minds don't follow the stillness that your body is in. That is the tendency of the mind. Just giving yourself the opportunity to soak in the benefits of this practice. And today we'll take this Savasana in silence, so you have more of a chance for that self-study and self-inquiry, a chance to go in and reflect. smoothing your way up the limbs, rolling the wrists and ankles. Taking as long as you'd like to wake up for the second time today. Maybe rock the head side to side, massaging the base of the skull and the neck. My favorite way to wake up from Savasana is a full body stretch, extending fingertips and toes in opposite directions, lengthening into the entire body. And then exhale, either making your way to a comfortable seat or first journeying through a fetal position, dropping to your preferred edge. Taking this final moment of rest and relaxation to acknowledge your body and your practice and the beautiful gift of yoga that you've just given yourself. If you're not there already, start to press up to a seated position, comfortable seat. Hands will come through heart center. We'll close with the sound of one Om. From home, you're welcome to join me or to listen silently, whatever you prefer. Inhale, breath for the Om. Om.